Joining us right now on the phone, Jeremy London from Celebrity Rehab. Jeremy, good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're fantastic today. The morning's going well. We don't have a ton of time to talk to you. We have a ton to talk about. So, Celebrity Rehab here. For one, what are you in for? What's the addiction?
Well, I went in to not relapse. I had a problem with painkillers in 2009.
Okay.
And I had gone to rehab in September of 2009. And then I was offered to do the Celebrity Rehab thing after some traumatic stuff happened to me. And I agreed to do it because I knew that Dr. Drew could help me with some post-traumatic stress stuff.
I see.
So I wouldn't relapse.
Are you, when you're talking about the post-traumatic stress, are you referring to the kidnapping incident?
Yes, absolutely.
And so in that story, like I don't want to be offensive or anything. I just know I remember when it came out, it seemed like, oh my gosh, he's been kidnapped. Then, the few days afterwards, it seemed more like people were leaning towards he was probably involved some way, and it's like he's got a drug issue. Are you sticking by your story that it was just you were straight up kidnapped, or have you kind of come clean in treatment?
I'm not sticking by any story. I'm sticking by the truth.
Oh, so that is what happened. I mean, it's not like you were involved in drugs or anything. You were legitimately kidnapped and forced to smoke crack?
I had a flat tire. And the guys that helped me fix my flat tire ultimately are the ones, one of the guys who wound up robbing me. So
crazy.
I was on a main street in Palm Springs. A cop saw us there, and as an eyewitness, that puts me right where I said I was, right when I said I was there.
Wow.
And the guy that they have in jail has confessed.
I see. So so the reason you're in rehab is because you had some issues before that, and that was so traumatic you didn't want to turn to the drugs again.
Exactly right.
I see. And so how did I know the
Dr. Drew helped me find rehab initially whenever I went to rehab. And so he was aware of the stuff that I was dealing with. And so he knew that this traumatic event could very, very easily make me relapse.
I see.
They offered to help me out with that. So it was very kind of them.
And so you've done rehab before actually being on the show. I mean, you've done rehab in private.
Yes, 5 or 6 months before that.
What do you think of the process of doing it on the show? I've heard Dr. Drew talk at some interviews, and some people are really critical and say that it's not real medicine and it's just for show, and the fact that, they have the cameras there. Like, as a patient in Celebrity Rehab, do you find that the process is similar to normal rehab, or is it a lot different?
It is very, very similar. There is absolutely real healing on there. I think the problem with the show, and Dr. Drew will be the first person to agree with me, is that it's not enough time. It was only 17 days, and that is not enough time for somebody like Leif Garrett or Jason Davis who were kicking heroin, That's barely enough time to just get off the heroin and get going, start somewhat feeling normal again. Yeah. So it's just not enough time, which is why Dr. Drew encourages everybody to do an aftercare program, of some kind, like a sober living or an extended stay somewhere.
Are you going to do that? Are you going to stick with the aftercare?
Oh, I stayed out at a sober living house for a month out in Malibu, this big mansion on the beach in Malibu afterwards, and I went into Celebrity Rehab sober. So I was trying to be an example to everybody else.
Okay, I see.
I went in sober, and I'm going to do the extended care because I know that it can only benefit me in the long run in the big picture, because it's all about the big picture now. As drug addicts, we live in the moment. How do I satisfy myself right now? And after you learn that that's only detrimental, you start trying to look at the big picture. And for me, going to the extended care afterwards was just, putting more tools in my toolbox for later on down the road.
Sounds good, man. I can't wait to see the season. I wish you the best in the future. Jeremy London, Celebrity Rehab. It premieres tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, VH1. Jeremy, thanks for being with us this morning, and have a great future, man.
Hey, thank you very much. You guys take care.
All right, you too.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.